Hello, Galaxy! I'm Chris Pirillo, and you've tuned into another live edition of the Locker Gnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short, and I'm looking back at my screen right now, not just because I'm talking to myself once again. That usually happens at the beginning of a live video, especially when members, potentially like you, show up and say, hello! Thanks again for your support, no matter how you choose to give it. I realize, as we shot into Wednesday this week, that Monday and Tuesday passed, and I did as well. I passed right through those days, and I was busy. So busy that I kind of forgot to do TLDR, and nobody reminded me. So, as you can imagine, I have been busy with Creator Deck's endeavors, specifically doing things to ensure that we can do things. What's the thing I can say right now? We have all the pieces of the puzzle lining up, including I don't know how much I can say. Suffice it to say, it's happening. I'm very, very excited for that. I can't tell you how thrilling it is to move forward with certain ideas, not just fleshing them out, seeing them in a working prototype, but also showing others and getting them excited, and really seeing the excitement that they they exude when they understand exactly what's happening and why we are choosing to move forward with the Creator Deck's endeavor. Oh, I thought that was a cursor for a second, but that's just that's a vertical ellipsis. And here's my horizontal ellipses right there. Yesterday, yes, busy with things. Even when I think I'm done, like I can't even go to bed anymore without jamming through another set of tasks. I had a chance to do a video. It's a sponsored video that'll be released to everybody soon. It's something in conjunction with Disney. So that's, as you can imagine, a lot of fun. They sent a box of goodies. And so I edited video yesterday for the first time in, I can't even tell you how long. Like, it took me forever to find a feature. I'm like, what? How do I totally... It's like it wasn't intuitive to find a way to add something. I'm like, where did they put it? I got it working. Everything's working just fine. That video will be up soon. Here's a spoiler. This is a piece of cardboard that came from one of the packages. Yeah, because the big box that they sent had many items within it. This was one, and I'm keeping it, even though I'm really sad. The corner got crunched, but it'll make a nice staging ground back, right here specifically for like toy photography. So I'm happy that this is something. Spoiler alerts! It will be Star Wars related, not just space related. Speaking of, a friend, Fraser Kane, has I guess co-authored a book, The Ultimate Guide to Viewing the Cosmos. Right here. It's very visual. This is not a jacket, by the way. This is the actual cover. It's very nice. But this will be potentially Jedi's first book on space, although it is definitely for, I would say, the older audiences, not necessarily the younger audiences, but I think the first in-depth book about outer space. So thank you, Fraser, for sending this. Publisher of Universe Today. It's true. You know you're legit when you've published a hardcover book. Something I've never done. I've done softcover books. Or paperbacks, I guess they call them. Who calls them softcovers? Well, okay, so if it's hardcover, what's the opposite of hardcover? Softcover. So why don't we call them softcover instead of paperbacks? You know what I'm saying? Why do we call them, or why don't we call them hardbacks and paperbacks? That would make some, or cardboard backs and paperbacks. That would make sense. Or at least more sense than what we have today. Yeah. So as you can see by the title, it's Ask Me Anything, or at least if you are watching live, assuming the notification went out, I'm asking you to ask me anything, because I have nothing to present to you. My spare time, if I do have it, a lot of it gets poured into my team for the platform that will... we're on the trajectory to launch something Q1, probably the end of Q1, accepting beta testers sooner rather than later. Friday, I hope to have a conversation with someone I want to bring in. Well, I don't just intend to want to bring him in. I want to bring him in. I intend to pursue that as a relationship, because he would make an amazing community liaison, like perfect. Like, there's no job description for what this person would need to be necessarily, but I would say that he encompasses everything that I would hope for in someone who could be a community champion. That call's on Friday. We've got a call with somebody else tomorrow. Every day, it's a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Today, I dumped all the ideas that have been disparate and spread out through documents and spreadsheets into a board that is kind of like an ideas board that can be tasked and managed and potentially thrown into the roadmap at version 1, 2, 3, etc. But that's been it's seriously, it's time consuming. It genuinely is, and I don't have much time to poke my head up and take a look around. Like, even Diana, last night, it was late last night, she said, "Did you like my Instagram post?" I'm like, I haven't even logged into Instagram. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. I don't, that's for sure. Every once in a while you get a random tweet from me, but it's usually just kind of for the past week it's been political retweets, but that's what's going on. Looking into getting a new tablet, says Eric Womack. Suggestions on best Android tablet available now. I haven't tried them. I haven't wanted to plunk down cash on one. The closest, I would say, that the Pixel Slate, is that what it's called? That looks interesting. If I had the budget for it, I'd consider trying it, and I know I could try it and then return it, but I don't want to go through the hassle. I liked what the Pixel Book could have been. It's just the software was not quite what it should have been. So I'd wait until you hear earlier reviews of the Slate. I'd consider that, if only because it's Google's intention to drive Chrome OS forward as the platform for not everything, but certainly larger screened experiences, traditional laptops, traditional tablets. And honestly, if you were to ask me, point blank, would I prefer an iPad over a Google's Pixel Slate? I'd probably tell you Pixel Slate, having not used one, and here's why. Because the software in Chrome OS is better suited, not perfect, but better suited for that type of experience than I think iOS has been. iOS is long in the tooth. It's a walking disaster, and I don't care what kind of hardware they throw at it. It's the software that is wholly uninteresting. Wholly, as in whole parts of a whole, not a hole that a hole that you kind of look through, hole, look down, not that hole. Or not wholly, as in, please save us from crappy platforms. That's all we ask. But that's at a distance. I haven't had much experience with them in the longest time. But there's the cursor. The Slate is something that's kind of on the radar. Like, I'd try one. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe if I have the budget. Which I can't really say I have right now, but there's a possibility that I will have the budget very soon. That's all I can say. You guys can fill in the blanks there. What do you think about Steve Wozniak saying that Steve Jobs would be proud of Apple today? Oh, yeah, I saw that. Okay. I know Woz. He spoke at GnomeDex 2004. Great guy, a perfect nerd, consummate nerd, great heart, amazing heart in Woz. I beg to differ. I think the business Steve would certainly appreciate the numbers, but there's very little doubt in my mind that this is not the Apple that Steve left. This would be the Apple that Steve would save. And I've felt that way. I'm not the only person to feel that way. Not to say that I'm right in this respect. I mean, we can only guess about, what someone who's passed might believe. We can only base our beliefs and assumptions on what Steve said when he was living. And everything Steve said when he was living tells you that Steve would not be happy with Apple today. Just go back and listen to when he was pursuing Next and talking about Apple. You might as well have been talking about Apple today. It's just, yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree with Woz on this one. It's a shadow of its former self. Maybe one day they'll elevate design principles and software prowess. Maybe. I don't know. I stopped holding my breath. I found greener pastures, for sure. Still working on that Google Fi or Project Fi review with the Pixel 3. I ran into not exactly a couple snags, but I'm looking for clarifications before we're able to do anything. Diana has used the Pixel around the house, though I hear Night Sight is available as an app update for the camera, and Google's also beta testing the time-lapse feature, which I guess I never really used all that much, but it wasn't baked in to the camera. That kind of shocked me, so I guess we can expect to see a time-lapse feature show up here as well as Night Sight soon. So it's kind of nice that they are updating the camera with these features, like this. I like that. I like the fact that Google's constantly releasing iterations and software updates. The camera's getting better with software updates. I mean, yeah, Apple does the same thing, but they usually wait a generation. They wait an entire year. And Google's like, no, it's ready. 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 I'm not sure what one way is better than the other, empirically, but I can tell you I like that. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know if I'm going to use time-lapse, but it's nice that they're working on it. Night Sight, I absolutely will be using. That is a guarantee. Have I had any more thoughts about the foldable phone? Tablet and phone in one is the selling point for me. I think it's not a great idea. It's all about the execution, not the idea, and the idea sounds ludicrous to me. The idea of a notch sounds ludicrous to me, and in practicality, it is ludicrous. So I get that, you fold it out and suddenly it's a bigger screen. I guess. I'm not sure Android is optimized for something apart from, like, this shape or this shape. It would be suboptimal to flip it open, apart from possibly note-taking. At which point you're carrying around a foldable phone for note-taking. Watching videos isn't necessarily going to get any better. I guess editing something, yeah, turning it into a full-on tablet. I don't know. I think it's a silly idea. But then again, I've heard the promise of hardware, come to fruition and see that the software is it's Achilles heel, and that's a huge Achilles heel to have. So I know that Google's baked in support for foldable phones, or is baking in support, which is nice to hear, if only to reduce possible fragmentation down the line. But I think it's doomed to be another gimmick. That's my feeling. And I guess Samsung, to upset a lot of stalwarts who believe that Samsung's been taking the right approach, is potentially going to be notching it. They're ratcheting it up a notch, and they're going to notch their phones. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I'd rather have this. This is beautifully designed. It got crunched in the corner. I'm sad about that, but it's okay. A couple of you have been tweeting images from where you live, Star Wars items that you're finding. Thank you for that. It still hurts to see them at a distance. I'm like, oh, Trog. Is Trog here? Budcar? Hang on, just a second. It's. I gotta grab this. I totally spaced on this the other day. Give me a second. It's right around the corner here. This is something that I've wanted for a while, but no one's been able to help with it. Chirag did. This is an AT-AT popcorn bucket. An AT-AT popcorn bucket. Check out the legs. This is like, for a popcorn bucket, this is pretty amazing. Like, super articulated joints. It's got this handy strap. So Daddy, may end up taking this out with him when he goes out because it acts as kind of like a purse. See, that's where the popcorn goes in the top. And you carry things around in it. I'll be the talk of the town. So the cannons swivel on the front. Chin cannons don't, but the neck articulates kind of. Not, it doesn't exactly stick. I think, yeah, the head kind of twists around. Not that I expect a lot of play with it, but isn't that amazing? Like this, and it was pricey too. Chirag helped, get it there. That's why I love anybody who lives or is going to like Disney World or Disneyland. They could potentially help me get these. This is an exclusive. It's a Disney Parks exclusive, and I wanted it. But anytime you look for Disney Park exclusives online, it's just way too pricey. So I have to wait till someone says, "Hey, I'm at Disney Park," and I say, "Find trinkets. Find like they do pressed coins, pressed pennies." I'm like, "Yeah, that's great. Little hand sanitizer things. Anything that's like small and Star Warsy and fun and collectible." I'm in. Not just the toy stuff, but yeah, this popcorn bucket. I thought as soon as I heard about it, I'm like, "Oh no way, dude!" I'm like, why don't they sell this in the Disney stores? Or why don't they just sell it online? Why is it only in Disney parks? Well, exclusives. They want you to go there. But anyway, for a popcorn bucket, it's got extreme play value, reusable value, and it would be easily something I would recommend to any collector. And I never really had the AT-AT, the vintage AT-AT. My brother Adam had one. I wasn't as interested in the ships, but it's kind of become. I mean, it's iconic for me. If I have a ship that I collect, I'm probably more interested in getting AT-ATs than I am Millennium Falcons. And the Millennium Falcon was my favorite toy, the Kenner toy, as a figure for ships. I never had the AT-AT. It just didn't. I mean, it did it for me. I liked it, but I think looking back on it, I enjoy having these now in the various scales. Hot Wheels. Don't get me started on Hot Wheels. I've been having problems with them. Finding some of the newer Hot Wheels has been a challenge. I'll say that. That's the nicest way to put it. And it's a good way of putting it, but it's true. I've had a lot of snags because the problem when they release these things, and I'm sure you feel the same pinch in tech, is if you don't have direct access to something, you have to get it online, and sometimes they'll jack up the rates if they know that you can't get something. So I've been looking for the patrol speeders in the Hot Wheels series, haven't been able to find them. Some of the other ones, I guess they have like lightsaber vehicles that I only found in store once, and then never again. And so finding them has been a challenge. They're in limited quantities. So especially that's why I'm like, if you find something out there, you see it, like you just go ahead and let me know. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. This is timeless right here. This will be wonderful a year from now. This is definitely not a gadget. A Death Star steel wood burning fire pit, 4,000. It's probably custom. Yeah, I'm not into the fire pit thing. What would I need a fire pit for? I probably wouldn't. But that's me. I don't really need fire pits. Let's see here. Give me a second. Oh, Diana just texted. What does she want? Oh. It's a sale. Oh, cool. Sale I may have to support here. Up to 40% off. Screen-free toys and activities. That's not bad. Huh. Online only, though. So, what are you going to do with an online only? I have no idea. No idea whatsoever. I mean, yeah, you go online and you get the stuff. But that's not as much fun, honestly. I there's something to be said about doing a toy run. About getting out of your mindset of where you are when you're working and thrusting yourself into an environment that is far more conducive to creative thinking outside the box. It's one of the reasons why I like doing toy runs, getting out of the house, because I have a chance to think and ponder and process what it is that is going through my head, if only to further solve problems. It's something that I enjoy doing, thinking constantly, but then turning those thoughts into action items. which again, like I said in the beginning of this stream, the value of what it is that I've done in terms of experience is, invaluable. And I can't tell you just how excited I am to do that and really turn my experience almost upside down, right, and funnel that experience into software. Dogs are doing fine. People have asked. They're still okay. They're, I will tell you, getting older, and Wicket, if you let him out, he'll bark. And if he's in, he could do something on the carpet. And so it's been a bit of a challenge to deal with the dogs, but we still love them dearly. I wish they could roam about the house like they used to, but it just became too, I'm not going to say treacherous, but I just got tired of cleaning up. They haven't been upstairs in 2 years now, because Wicket he was urinating on the bed. There's no other way of saying it. And it was like, all right, done. So the gates are up. The gates are constantly up, or the gates are closed. And Wicket and Pixie are, constantly being looked at. Or like, not, we're not watching them 24/7 necessarily, but that's the case. Where is Jedi? I haven't heard her in the video. I guess sleeping. She might be down for the moment. Yeah, it's true. She may actually be asleep, which is okay. I'm not challenging that, as I'm sure a few of you are. There was a couple of comments that came through. Someone said that they tune in just to see Jedi. Well, that's great. That's why she's here. I wish she could be here more often. Getting her kind of used to it. Not just presence in front of the camera, or really opening presence, as you will see in the upcoming sponsored video from Disney. So yeah, what are my thoughts on a decentralized web services? I think it's critical. I like what Tim Berners-Lee is working on. The web has kind of gotten away from us, and this is something that I lament, if only as an entrepreneur. Remembering back the early days, things that used to be difficult are now easy, and things that used to be easy are now difficult. And I'm not trying to romanticize the past, but there was something that I enjoyed about that challenge, and I find myself now facing different challenges, and rising to the occasion, learning more, in terms of how I could find my place in the industry as it stands, but where I believe the industry might be headed. And I think too frequently we've yielded control to centralized systems that have come about to our detriment. As much as we can value social media, so much of our lives are wrapped up in it. I'm not sure that's necessarily a good thing. It's not a bad thing outright. It's not a good thing outright. It's just a different way of being, really. Could you see them? I don't know. I'd be nervous about bringing him up here, because I just know it's just going to take one little thing, and Wicket's going to do a purpose on the floor. I'm not going to call it an accident, because it's definitely not an accident. Yeah, other people miss the old vlogs too. Some people have gone back and watched them again. I'm like, go for it. I'm not stopping you from doing that. The vlogs still live in this channel, and some of them now in Jedi's channel. She'll have it, right? We're not doing anything with it, on a daily basis necessarily, but it's there when she's ready. There you go, baked-in audience. They know about you. Now that sponsored stuff will be in this channel though. You'll pay for a once a week vlog. Well, if you subscribe on geekfamilyfun.com, geekfamilyfun.com has the vlog. Diana's been recording daily segments. Geekfamilyfun.com. She'll hit record, and so it's kind of like a vlog that no one has to edit, because Chris isn't going to take the time to edit anymore. Trog, I was just talking about you. Here's the walker. You can rewind the live video right here. It's amazing. Thoughts on Disney Plus? The only thing I care about in relation to Disney Plus is the Star Wars stuff. So Cassian Andor is getting a series. The Mandalorian is going to be a series. I mean, I'm excited. Like, it's just nice to know. I would love to have a new Star Wars something every week. I get that, through comics, and enjoy that. But there's something to be said about that vision, the video medium that I would certainly revel in. So I'm looking forward very much to that as a future Disney Plus. It's all it is for me, though. Make no mistake, Star Wars. That's it. That's all I care about. That's it. It's all I need. It's all I want. Happy with that. Very much looking forward to that. What is that, next year, I guess? It's going to roll around. I'll tell you this, in doing holiday shopping this early, and I'm fine with that. I like this season. There is hardly any Star Wars anything out there. Like, almost nothing. Which is frustrating. It's just not there. I mean, there's no movie to promote. They're not really doing much with Resistance yet. The cartoon series. It's just, there's nothing. So, like, especially if you find something Star Warsy somewhere, let me know. I'll be like, I haven't seen that yet. Here, let's work out a deal. Like, grab it for me. I'll pay for it. Because there's nothing. I can't even get advent calendars. Like, there's chocolate advent calendars in the UK. Someone had tweeted something the other day, and we don't have any. The only advent calendars, chocolate advent calendars we have here are Jurassic World, which I thought about getting for Jedi. She's kind of into the dinosaur thing. Although I did get her, there's a Jurassic World, like, pop-out dinosaur floor mat thing, and on the box there was a girl. I'm like, oh, that is so cool. I'm like, yes, gender-neutral toys. Yes, dinosaurs can be for everyone. Yeah! So I would have bought it just for that alone. And it wasn't, like, overly I mean, it was perfect. It was, on one side was a boy, the other side was a girl. Perfect. Exactly. And there was nothing that was color coordinated one direction or another. It was the way I expect the toy to be, gender neutral. California Wild. I'm excited for the Marvel stuff too. Can't wait for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to return. I think in January, here in a couple months. I've been chomping the bit for that too. California wildfire smoke reached Seattle. Yeah. Yesterday I tweeted something. It was kind of orange cast yesterday, and I could smell burning wood. It was prevalent in the air yesterday. It was. Today, not as much. It was a little more overcast. Oh, Moe, trust me, I follow this stuff like you wouldn't believe. I don't get to talk about it all that often, so thank you for asking the question, and whoever did, to provide that response about what Tim's up to. So the R4H18, don't worry about it, Chirag. I ordered one online. They made it available online. I'm like, well, I'm going to want it. Well, actually, stay tuned, because I don't know about the how the boxes are going to come yet. So I may want to get one with a good box. But I like the Christmas droids. So I like the little figure. It's coming soon at the Disney store. There are going to be little Jawa Sandcrawler blind boxes of Build-A-Droids, like little astromechs that you can take apart and put in them. I mean, like, I'm just freaking out. I'm like, yeah! Oh! So, in order to get that collection, I'm probably going to have to buy a whole case of those. Not looking forward to that. But I am looking forward to it. At the same time, those are going to be Disney Store exclusives. Little Jawa Sandcrawler things. That's so cool! That's so cool! But yeah, Chirag, I'll keep you posted. Also, like I was mentioning when you weren't here, but like little trinkety Star Wars things are really what kind of tripped my trigger. Like, oh, that's kind of neat. Oh, I never thought about that. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Not just the Darth Vader stuff either. Some people think it's just Darth Vader. It's just whatever. Like I wouldn't have known about this had someone not told me like a year ago. So it's taken a year for this walker to get here. So impressed. I even showed Jedi, and I think she would have been more interested if there was candy inside. There was not candy inside. She was not interested. Yeah. But I'm happy with it. I'm very happy with it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, for asking the questions you asked. This wasn't Ask Me Anything. Thank you, all members, for your patience and support. I do appreciate that. We're still over 100, which I'm happy with. Thank you for not being testy with me, with having spaced on Monday and Tuesday. Sometimes I just get through the day and realize, oh, crap, I actually had to set myself a reminder. Do TLDR. So, yeah. And look, Don Volio, okay, I not to screw up everybody's chat, Can you see that outright? Let me see here. Zoom in on that screen. I'm going to have to zoom in. Give me a second. Mo A is still... Oh, yeah, Trog, too. Here we go. Sorry, I had to zoom in. If you've been a 2-month member, you are now a Biker Scout. I don't know if y'all knew that or noticed. You're now a Biker Scout. So if you've been a member for over a month or 2 months now, you're a Biker Scout. I think the next one happens at 3 months. You'll be different. And then I think a year. I mean, they're different time, but your membership... You that's how you know someone's awesome. Like if your member changes. I'm sorry, it's like you're just gonna have to. I'm not gonna get it perfect in terms of zooming out again. But yeah, you get the Chris Pirillo emoji and everything, and the cursor, the big ass cursor. Like me, that was my nickname actually. Big ass cursor. That's what Diana calls me. You big ass cursor. I love you. I appreciate you no matter what avatar you have, no matter if you decide to curse or not. I love you. I appreciate you. And at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices. May the Force be with you.